Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Thanks for being with us. Today we're talking about crowdfunding for sponsors and investors. Please welcome my next guest, Jillian Hillman. She's CEO of Realty Mogul. Now, Realty Mogul started way back in 2013 for the crowdfunding world. They've been at it a long time, been doing lots of deals. Jillian, what's new and exciting? What's going on in the crowdfunding world? You've been right in the middle of it.
We have, and it's been fun to watch the ride and watch the incredible ascent of crowdfunding as a viable source of capital. Thanks for having me today, Michael. I think there's two primary things that I'm seeing that are starting to shift in the crowdfunding world. And the first is a lot more appetite from institutional investors. So when we first started this business, we were really focused on the high net worth, accredited investor who wanted access to real estate. And we're starting to see lots and lots of demand from institutions who are interested in making larger investments and really want to come play on the online marketplace and the online platform. And I think that that's good for real estate sponsors in a number of ways. It gives them certainty of capital. So as you have a more sizable institutional investor who wants to put capital to work on the platform, it really gives those real estate sponsors certainty of capital, and they know that their deal is going to get funded when they bring it to our crowdfunding platform.
Right. And then I was talking to you earlier, and you said also you've got some new interest or more interest in the debt product, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of the second theme that I've seen happen in crowdfunding. At RealtyMogul.com, we do both equity and debt transactions, and we've seen a ton of interest from real estate entrepreneurs and real estate sponsors who want debt from us. Rather than going to a traditional bank for a bridge loan or a permanent loan on commercial real estate, whether it's multifamily, office, industrial, self-storage, they're now coming directly online with us and getting that loan funded through the Realty Mogul platform. And it's been really interesting to watch that shift. I think that a lot of real estate sponsors are fed up with the banks. Some of them are fed up with brokers, and we work with a lot of brokers still today, but there's a better way, right? There's a better user experience of getting a real estate loan, and there's the ability to use technology in order to fund those real estate loans much faster. And being a technology company here at RealtyMogul.com, we're constantly looking at ways that we can make the process for getting a real estate loan a lot less onerous.
Well, it certainly makes sense. And you think about if you're an online investor, if you're investing in a debt product, then you're in first priority, right? And the equity from the sponsors behind you. So, and you've got the kind of certainty of your return, right?
Right. Nothing's ever certain. There's always real risk in every single transaction. But if you compare making an equity investment versus making a debt investment, debt is theoretically a safer investment than an equity investment. And, there is more certainty as far as, expectations go. So when you are a debt investor, you're getting, a monthly interest payment that is pre-decided. Whereas when you're an equity investor, you're really looking at the performance of that asset to kick off any potential cash flow or any potential appreciation.
Right. We're talking with Jillian Hillman, CEO of Realty Mogul. And Jillian, if you will, give us a tip for sponsors that are interested in using crowdfunding as a source for capital or debt.
I think the most important thing for sponsors is to make sure that the company has a quote-unquote crowd, right? Make sure that they've got real capital behind them. So I would be asking them, how many transactions have you done? How much capital have you put out in the last 12 months? How big is your team? And really make sure that they've got capital, because there are some companies that just don't have committed pools of capital. For our own company, we raised a $73 million commitment from a major hedge fund. So we're putting that capital out, and we've got certainty of capital. So that's kind of the number one most important thing is when you're ready to fund, make sure that that cash is going to be there.
Right. Good point. And what about a tip for investors who maybe want to go online and invest in a deal today?
I think the number one tip for investors is always make sure that you do your own independent underwriting. A big part of our value proposition for investors at RealtyMogul.com is that we do a lot of pre-vetting. We do pre-screening, background checks, criminal checks, underwriting, running the financials, running variance analyses, and all of the like. But at the end of the day, every investor is looking for something different, and they should do their own due diligence, and they need to make sure that the risk profile of that transaction fits for what they're comfortable with. Certain investors want to take a lot of risk, other investors want to take less risk, and there's the ability to find both types of transactions, I think, on crowdfunding websites.
Right, and I guess their due diligence should also depend on how much they're investing, right?
Even if you're investing $1, right, and you can invest $1 with us, you'd have to invest more than that. But,
right.
I think that due diligence is core to real estate, right? I mean, the best real estate transactions are done with a lot of due diligence. You don't want a whole lot of surprises. So, for me and investing personally, no matter what the amount is, I think that due diligence is really important.
What's the last property type that you closed on crowdfunding?
We just funded a multifamily apartment building.
Yeah, multifamily is really hot, isn't it?
It is. But, we've done all types of transactions, student housing, retail, industrial, office. We've even funded mobile home parks. So we've got a wide variety.
Well, Jillian, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us on Skype today. So if you're listening on one of the 40 radio stations, check out YouTube. You can see Jillian on Skype being interviewed. Well, stay with us. We'll have more on crowdfunding for sponsors and investors. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty Commercial Advisors, a great place to do business. Visit bullrealty.com. RealNex, a comprehensive and powerful suite of commercial real estate tools at an incredibly low price. Visit realnex.com. That's REALNEX. FIU, Florida International University. Earn your master's in real estate in as little as 10 months without interrupting your career. Visit FIUonline.com. Xceligent, the resource professionals use for commercial real estate information. Visit xceligent.com. That's XCELIGENT. Commercial Search, the source to market and source available properties for sale or lease. Visit commercialsearch.com. For more information on these great companies or for additional videos, podcasts, or articles, visit CREshow.com.